Yes, good morning.
Good
Uh,
morning.
yeah, intuition it could be also a double-edged sword because if you just act on impulse, intuition isn't it similar almost to an immediate action because sometimes you could regret of not having thought over it. Say like many a times in my investing strategy, intuition is one thing, but to go deep into it and the long-term consequences of it is also important. So, and also sometimes our dreams or subconscious minds does kind of align our intuitions many a times. If you think about the subject too deep, most probably we get a dream in the night or after a few nights. Say like when somebody loses a loved one, you would if you think a lot about that particular person, our subconscious mind automatically gives us that feeling. So you want to throw some light into is intuition a 100% guaranteed, or it has to be reviewed in the light of all the spheres. I'll leave it up to you to answer.
Thank you. I appreciate your question. And I see what you're saying. Like if we're constantly, like dwelling on one thing, I think for me, from my experience, it's much like the spiritual mind treatment. So when you have something that you're intending or looking for some answer or guidance, to then once you have put that intention there to receive guidance is to then let it go the best you can and then just be observant and watch. If we are constantly like going back to whatever it is, whatever challenge that we're looking for an answer for, if we set that intention like, okay, I'm expecting that guidance to show up from within for me. If we say that we're expecting it, but then we keep constantly thinking, so what's the guidance? So what's the guidance? So what's this going to happen? What's this, this challenge is so hard for me. Over and over, I keep thinking about this challenge. I'm now having nightmares about this challenge. If we're focusing on it too much, then I think that might be a hindrance. So I think it's a lot, of just setting that intention, knowing that the guidance is there and expecting it, going into a place of, being ready to receive and, letting it go so that we don't constantly keep digging it up to look at it. We're not being open and waiting for it. As if we're obsessing over it. It's like when we, in spiritual mind treatment, when we plant the seed that, we let it, the last step is release. And that's when we have to release and let it go and then let the law do its thing. If we keep like going back and saying, did it happen yet? Did it happen yet? And digging up that seed, it's never going to have the time to grow. So I think, being able to let go and then being open and receptive and waiting until that answer gets there. I don't know if
Thank
that helps.
no, no, thank you very much. Yeah, you have to examine all the aspect, not just always act. Oh, I got an intuition, so let me act on it. So you have to kind of reflect on it a little bit more than because many a times, you know, like they say, think before you speak. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so many a times we cannot take back our words, we cannot take back our action, and then we regret. Oh, why did I hurt that person? I should have I should have first put myself in his shoes. You know, so depends if it is a personal an intuition just for yourself, or is that intuition going to affect others, and how it is going to affect others, because an intuition is not only for oneself, but how you're going to involve when you implement that intuition, you'll be involving other people, other things, and your family. So it is a it's, it's something to it's a important but very difficult thing to just write a blank check and say, okay, I'm going to do it. Thank you very much. Eh?
A- Absolutely. Thank you. I really appreciate your perspective there. I think you're spot on with that. We do have to learn discernment and, and making sure, like is the intuitive thing that's coming to me, is it going to cause harm to anybody else? Is it going to, sometimes what we think may be intuition, we still have to be able to discern and ask questions and say, is that something that I'm really supposed to do or not? And then again, like I talked about earlier, if you miss that idea, you don't act on it and it's gone by, don't beat yourself up and don't sweat it, because the universe is always leading us to the only place it can, which is back to itself to know itself. So there is no, wrong steps. You can't get lost. So thank you.